Autoweek, a publication that can't grasp the American dream of greatness, asks if the 19 cup holders in the new 2019 Subaru Ascent is too many cup holders. Jalopnik, a publication for heroes, knows that 19 cup holders is simply called not enough cup holders. But the joy of so many cup holders is how much liquid it can contain. The Subaru Ascent, fittingly, will be made in America for the American market. And we do enjoy a tasty beverage here, which explains why the Subaru Ascent has 19 cup holders for its mere 8 occupants. You're probably just noticing that the number 8 doesn't really go into the number 19 neatly, but these are mere trivialities. What's important is just how much liquid it can hold. You and your 7 thirsty friends head off to your nearest 24-hour convenience and food-like nutritional item mart. If you all get your normal 16-ounce, regular size 2.375 beverages per person, you're looking at 304 ounces of sugar water, or coincidentally, 2.375 gallons of liquid. But as I alluded to before, this is America. We don't stop at 38 ounces of fluid per person. Your food-like nutritional item mart sells a 30-ounce drink in one container, the Big Gulp, and since you like to live big and drink big, you're looking at 71.25 ounces of fluid per person, which is exactly what you should be looking at. It's patriotic duty. And since that's more than twice the average human's liquid stomach capacity, we should probably stop there. Why stop there, though? You sure as hell know that 7-Eleven doesn't stop there. The largest drink container they make that can fit into a regulation-size cup holder is the Double Gulp, so-called because it is not quite double the regular-sized Big Gulp, at 50 ounces, and because it's so unfathomably large that you'll be gulping when you see it. Twice. With 19 cup holders, your Subaru can hold 950 fluid ounces. That's nearly a gallon per person. That's ridiculous. That's 7.4 gallons of ridiculous, to be specific. But not the most ridiculous. We can go more ridiculous. That's because 7-Eleven sells a monstrosity known as the Teen Gulp. The Teen Gulp, at 128 ounces, is a strong contender for the title of the peak of human achievement. And while it likely cannot fit into the cup holders of a Subaru Ascent, challenges are meant to be surmounted. You and 7 of your friends are going to have to hold on to these bad boys yourselves. In keeping with the trend, let's assume each of you gets 2.375 teen gulps. You each get 304 fluid ounces. Your Subaru Ascent will be containing 8 extremely well-hydrated humans, and 19 gallons of liquid to match its 19 cup holders. For argument's sake, let's say you get some delicious, refreshing Mountain Dew. Your Subaru will be holding 8 humans, 19 gallons, and 35,264 calories of quintessential Americana. That's 4,408 calories of Mountain Dew per person. Mr. Trump says we need to make America great again. I believe we're already there, and nobody understands this better than Subaru.
The new 2019 Infiniti QX50, debuting ahead of the 2017 Los Angeles Auto Show, may be arriving in a crowded segment, with mid-size luxury SUVs booming and automakers taking notice. The QX50 isn't a new model for Infiniti, but it was last sold as a 2017 model before skipping a year, a gap year, if you will. But the QX50 didn't sit around in the basement bumming it for a year. It debuts an all-new platform for Infiniti, and under the hood is some brand new technology that has us intrigued. The QX50 will be the first vehicle to offer a variable compression engine, and Infiniti says that developing the SUV on a new platform allowed the brand to build in more interior cargo and passenger room, 2 things that can be lacking in some competitors, and the old QX50 for that matter. Here's what we know about the new QX50 so far, ahead of its official unveiling on Tuesday. The exterior might be the least exciting part of the QX50. Its styling very much apes the larger QX60 down to the matching rear window kinks that add some needed visual flair to the sides of the SUV. Up front, the two also are pretty much identical, with similar grilles and headlight clusters. The QX50 is a bit more angular, the hood is sculpted more aggressively, and there's black cladding around the fenders and side skirts. Our final judgments on the size of the interior will have to wait until we climb into the QX50, but on paper, the changes to the cargo area especially are impressive. The 2017 QX50 only offered 18.6 cubic feet of cargo room behind its rear seats, but the 2019 version expands that to 31.6 cubic feet. Slide the second row forward and that expands to 37 cubic feet. Drop the seats and you get 60 cubic feet. In real-world terms, Infiniti says that with the seats up, you'll be able to fit 3 golf bags back there. There is also a favorite feature of mine in the cargo area, underfloor storage to hide valuables from prying eyes. Now we get to the exciting part. The QX50 will debut brand new engine technology in the form of variable compression tech. At the bottom of each piston is a control shaft, which can change how high up in the cylinder the piston goes. The higher the piston goes, the more compression you have in the cylinder, so by changing the angle of the control shaft, the engine can switch between higher compression, which is better for efficiency, and lower compression for more power. The turbocharged 2.0-liter 4-cylinder makes 268 horsepower and 280 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to a continuously variable automatic transmission, and the QX50 will offer both front and all-wheel drive. Infiniti announced some expected fuel economy figures too: 27 mpg combined for front-wheel drive and 26 mpg combined for all-wheel drive. Infiniti is also introducing new ProPilot Assist technology, which supports single-lane highway driving. The system helps the driver control acceleration, braking and steering while driving on the highway, but it doesn't drive for you. Infiniti clearly states that the technology is a step removed from autonomous driving. I'm not sure what this means. We'll have to get the QX50 on the road to see how it shakes out. Pricing and delivery estimate were not yet available from Infiniti.
Worried that the parts supply for your R32 Nissan Skyline GT-R is drying up? Well, you can rest easy now that Nissan has announced the Nismo Heritage Program. The program is a joint effort between Nissan, its Nismo Racing Division, tuning company Autoweek Japan, and suppliers to provide parts for aging Nissan performance models, starting with the R32. Nismo has been working with GT-R owners to learn what parts are hardest to find and most critical to operation and passing inspection in Japan. Beginning on December 1st, Nismo Heritage will sell 80 new parts for the 1989 to 1995 Skyline GT-R, including wiring harnesses, hoses, and exterior parts like bumpers and emblems. If a part can't be reproduced, Nismo will explore remanufactured alternatives. After launch, Nismo Heritage will consider adding more parts to the R32 catalog, and also decide whether there is enough demand to expand the range to R33 and R34 GT-R models. Please get some Z-Car parts cooking while you're at it, Nismo. While this doesn't change the fact that the Skyline wasn't sold in the US, models from the 80s and early 90s are now legal for importation. So if you were on the fence about paying thousands to import a 25-year-old GT-R before on account of parts availability, your path to the Japanese supercar of your dreams is now clear.
Having a hard time getting parts for your R32 GT-R? Well, under this new program from Nissan's motorsport arm, it's about to get easier. Nismo have just announced that they will make brand new, OEM parts available to owners of the R32 Skyline GT-R. The new program will be called Nismo Heritage and brings together Nissan Motor Company, Limited, Nissan Motorsports International Company, Limited, Autoweek Japan, Incorporated, and various other suppliers. Nissan says they will initially start offering about 80 parts for the R32 Skyline GT-R, a model produced between August 1989 and January 1995. The initial catalog of brand-new, remanufactured parts would include harnesses, hoses, emblems, body panels and more. Parts that Nissan say are needed to pass certification tests. Depending on the success of the program, the company is considering expanding not just the range of parts on offer beyond the initial count, but also to include components for the R33 Skyline GT-R and the R34 Skyline GT-R. The company says that if certain parts can no longer be reproduced or remanufactured, they will consider other methods of supplying such as refurbishing, rebuilding, or substituting. The Nismo Heritage parts will be displayed at this year's Nismo Festival at the Fuji Speedway. There is, however, one catch: Nissan only mentioned that the parts will be available to customers in Japan. So, if you're in need of R32 parts, it's a good time to have a friend living in Japan to reship it for you.